Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Got the question, how to get over my ex. Now, this is really tough to do because you have to really be mindful of the fact that in a relationship, you become addicted to that person. You become addicted to their laugh, to their touch, to their voice, everything about them. And everything that every interaction that you have a feeling, you have a release from your brain into your body, and that feeling, you become dependent on it. Even if it is a painful feeling, we can become addicted to pain, or it could be a good feeling. And when you look back over it, your brain will try to identify the good instead of the bad. So your brain will look back and it will see all of the times that the person, that your ex made you laugh and made you feel good. And you will think about any vacations or any trips or any amazing dinners that you had, any outings that it was just a great time. And then your mind will try to minimize the abuse, whether it was verbal, emotional, physical, financial, whatever type of abuse it was, or any toxic behavior, all of the other toxic behaviors that go on. It could be you were with a guy or a girl who talks to their friends and family about all of your personal business. Like, it's a lot of different toxic behaviors that can go into a relationship that you kind of forget about. And so in this, when you're trying to heal and you're trying to get over your ex, instead of focusing on the good, you have to remind yourself of the bad, because those are the reasons why you're leaving. So get a sheet of paper and write down every negative thing that is a deal breaker, that became a deal breaker. Write down every negative thing. So write down the action. He would yell at me or she would lie to me. Write down the action and then write down how it made you feel. So this is your own workbook that you need to create. You write down the action, you write down how it made you feel, and then write down how it made you act. How did you behave after internalizing that feeling? So as you go through this, what you're doing is you are etching this in your mind. Also, you are taking a lesson from it. And if you take the time, you can kind of extend this. And so instead of just writing down the action, writing down what happened, also look at what led up to that action. Because when you identify the major thing, the big things that you're looking at that caused you to leave this relationship, you will notice little small things that you let slip by. So this is what I call watching the game film. And athletes, after they play a game, they go back after the game the next day and they watch the whole game. And they watch it, or they watch whole, series, and they watch it, and the coach highlights where they are and what they did wrong. And now it's a lesson and it's being etched in your mind. And I remember I played football in college and we would have to sit and it would be an hour, felt like, or two. And the coach had the red laser thing and, all right, Gaskins, now you see where you did this right here? And you see that and you never forget it, but you learn from it. And so we don't do that when we're trying to heal. And a lot of times we say, oh, I'm trying, but what work are you actually doing? Have you sat down and written it out? If you haven't, then you haven't done enough. Then after writing it out, have you said it out loud? Read it back to yourself. Then share it with someone you know and love. When you share it with someone, now this is the next step, because now you create accountability. When you tell your mother everything that you just went through, you tell your father or whoever you know and love, your best friend. A lot of times the reason why we don't tell is because we know deep down we want to go back to that toxic relationship. So we don't tell our father or our mother or our best friend or our brother or our sister all the nitty gritty that went on that we're walking away from, because we know that if we get ready to go back, you know that whoever you told, they are going to rip you a new one. They're going to be in your face. They're going to be on you. They're going to be after you. And so you don't tell the real people who will really hold you accountable. You may tell your friend that you're kind of like an associate, colleague, because you don't really truly value their voice. So if they give you an opinion when you're getting ready to go back, you can ignore it and keep going. But tell someone who really has your heart, someone that you would die for. And that may be a parent or a sibling or a best friend. But share it, because now you create a partner, an accountability partner. You have an accountability person who will remind you of why you left and why you need to stay away from your ex, why it's not healthy, why it's not smart, why it is not the best thing for your life, and why going back would be living beneath your standards, beneath the level that you deserve from life. So take that next step. So you watch the game film, you've written it down, you read it out loud to yourself. You're saying it out loud, so it really is etched in your mind and in your heart. And then you share it with an accountability partner so somebody else knows. And they're going to be like, oh, wow, man, I didn't know you went through that. Wow. Oh, wow. Really? Why didn't you tell me? Why did you tell me? And, you go through all of that. That drives it home a little bit more, because now that outside perspective helps you step outside and look in to see just how crazy you looked being in that relationship for as long as you were. Even if it was 6 months, it was 5 months too long. If it was 3 years, 5 years, 15, 20 years, when you look back, you're going to say, wow, I saw these red flags. I saw the signs and I stayed, and I should have left. So now the next thing what you have to do after going through those steps is you have to do what you're doing right now, is get new knowledge. So you either saw this, it was shown to you, it was recommended to you, or you searched how to get over my ex. You have to get new knowledge, because you've heard time heals all things. Time heals all wounds. While there may be some truth to it, that truth does not stand alone. That truth cannot stand alone, because just time, as it relates to a relationship, it won't heal you. I coach people who have not healed after 3 years, 5 years, and even longer, 10 years, some people 15 years. It's really real. You have to do the work. So a part of your budget needs to be investing in books that are relevant to your situation, not just fiction stories to take your mind off of what you need to be dealing with and what you need to be learning from. Get actual real books. Then you have online courses, and this happens to be on my chest. You could also type in gaskinsuniversity.com, or you can try to read this and type it in with the little dashes in there. But you have to get online and you take some courses, and you're learning from someone else's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Someone who has already experienced it, who's already done what you're trying to do. And what happens is you kind of look at it like if your mind was a jar, and you have this toxic thing in there with thorns on it, and you pull that out, and then you put this other nice lubricated, soft, moisturizing thing in there that just kind of has this great aroma. That's what getting new knowledge is like. You're taking the junk out. You're taking all that toxicity out. You're removing the toxins from your mind, the things that you've learned that are not love, that you have told yourself that is love, and then you're replacing it with a real example, with real love. And this new knowledge, now what happens is, with this new knowledge, it elevates your standards. When I first started out, 2007, I had a slogan that said, elevate your lifestyle, or elevate your mind and change your lifestyle. elevate your mind and change your lifestyle. So when you get new knowledge, it changes the way that you think, because now you're able to take and say, you know what? This wasn't love. This was abuse. This wasn't love. This was self-hate. This wasn't love. This was control. This wasn't love. This was manipulation. And you say, okay, this is what self-hate and manipulation looks like. This is what love looks like. So now what happens is the next thing you do is, after getting this new knowledge, you're taking great notes, you're getting all this new notes, write a new list of standards. A new list of standards in what you want to become. So your list of standards, who you're becoming, and then who you want to attract. Write down a list of standards, and your standards are non-negotiable. And I'll do a video, hopefully I remember to do, the difference between standards and preferences. But you write down your non-negotiables, the things that you must have, that your partner must have in their personality and their character in order for you to be with them. So when you go through that process, take every step, watch this video 3 times if you need to, jot down everything that I said, create your own little healing notebook, get you a journal or a notebook and do the work. Write it down, say it out loud, read it out loud, share it with an accountability partner, and just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And all of those things coupled with time, meaning time away from your ex. You're not texting your ex, you're not calling your ex, y'all aren't talking, you're not meeting up. All of those things, and I'll do another video on closure and why that hurts us trying to get closure sometimes. And you put all that together and you will heal. Day 70 will not feel like day 7 if you're doing the work. The way you feel on day 7 after the breakup will feel totally different when you get to day 70 if you've been doing the work. Trust me on this. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. We'll talk soon.